All right, guys, so at this point, it's really important for us to make sure that we have our first name, last name, and room number on all three of these. So maybe if you can see a little bit of pencil still on one side, like this one, I can see some pencil. I'm gonna make that the back of the vase, and I'm gonna put my first name, last name, and room number on all of them because they're all gonna go on the drying rack. And if one accidentally falls off your paper, you might never see it again if you don't have your name on it. So first name, last name, and room number. Okay, so the next thing that we're gonna do is we are gonna be coloring these. We're gonna do the base color. So if we take a look at the different Ming vase images that I have in those folders for you, you'll probably notice some colors you see a lot more often than others. Anybody want to raise their hand? Which colors do you see the most of? If you said blue and white, you are correct. Most Ming vases, you notice, have this blue, it's called cobalt blue, and also large white sections. So this is what people really recognize Ming vases to have. And so I would like you guys to make at least one of your Ming vases, the base color. We're gonna be using oil pastels to add this. I'd like you to make the base color blue. It can be all different kinds of blues if you'd like, okay? Now, you might also notice that there are some other colors of Ming vases in there too. As they started to create more and more ceramics, they realized that they could add in other colors. So we have those, they're not as common, but you may use other colors besides just blue for your base color if you would like, okay? So let's talk more about that here in a second. So like I said, I would like at least one of your vases to be blue, and it may be all different blues. Perhaps you really just like something like this blue here. This is more of like that cobalt blue, or maybe you really like that, plus you like the light blues, and there's some even darker blues in there. This is kind of like a shade of blue, like a navy blue, this one here. So I have a few different blues right here, okay? So making an artwork with one color and all different shades and tints of that color, like all of these different blues, that has a special name. That's called a monochromatic artwork. Mono means one, chroma means color. So we have one color, monochromatic, and that one color is blue. We don't really count white because white is like a neutral color, okay? So these are monochromatic vases, and we're gonna make at least one. I think I'm gonna make two of my vases monochromatic. So I'm gonna show you how you can color yours. I want you guys to color this. Again, this is your base color. Color the whole thing so much that you can't see any white left on it, okay? So watch how I'm gonna do mine. You may do yours something like this. Notice I'm blending my colors a little bit. I'm not really concerned about the direction or making a certain design or drawing. That is not going to matter once you see the next step. All right, so I have one completed. Notice that I can't see any white left on it. It's entirely blue, monochromatic. So I can set this one to the side. Again, my name is already on the back of it. I'm gonna do a second one. I might color this one a little bit differently. I'm gonna do a second one monochromatic blue as well. But I might, make sections of blues, maybe a little bit different for this one. All right, so I have my two monochromatic blue vases colored. I'm gonna do one more. And this one, I'm gonna kind of look at the colors over here. So I could perhaps do a monochromatic green vase for my last one. Or I could even, use a variety of colors if I want. Maybe some blues and reds or yellows. Really, you can go nuts on this last one if you'd like. I think I'm gonna stick to monochromatic green though. I'm gonna grab my greens out of here and then color this one completely. All right, I have my 3 vases completely colored with oil pastel, and you can't see any white of the paper on them. That's exactly how they should be before the next step. So what we're gonna do next is we are gonna add that white back in, because if you notice, all these vases, except for a couple, are, they have a completely white background. So we kind of went a little bit in reverse. We made the background first, we made the underlayer with all these colors, and now we're gonna add the white on top, and we're gonna do that with paint. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take just plain white tempera paint. Okay, this is washable paint, and you are going to paint right over top of all of that oil pastel. So notice that I have the same paper that I used to do to color them underneath to catch any extra, because I'm totally going off the edge of all of them. I want to make sure that I get every single area completely covered, solid, flat white. I don't want to be able to see any of the oil pastel. I want to try to cover it up completely. You're going to get white paint on your fingers. It'll wash right off. Don't worry about that. All right, these look pretty good. So I think I'm ready to put them on the drying rack. One thing though, our name is only on the back of our vases, and that's gonna be really difficult to look at quickly when I'm trying to take things off the drying rack. So I'm gonna have you guys either with a pencil or with a Sharpie, something, you're gonna write your first name, your last name, and your room number really crystal clear on here. Make sure we can see it, and then you can go ahead and place these very carefully. Use 2 hands while you walk them over onto the drying rack.